Good evening to all. I think most of the people have been joined already, and those who have joined from India, good afternoon to all for them, and welcome to the interactive session of ISRK's interactive session. This is the second session of this webinar series, and today's topic is Brain Pool and Brain Pool Plus Fellowship. And for today's session, I'm your host. My name is Dr. Dilip Patil. I'm working as a senior researcher at YS Life Sciences in Suwon. So before going into the today's session in more details, I would like to just give a brief introduction of ISRK. And for that, I let me share my screen. Hello. Yeah. So all of you know about the ISRK. ISRK is a non-volunteering organization that aims to connect all Indian origin students and researchers residing in the South Korea. Our mission is to establish largest community of Indian students and researchers in Korea to have a strong engagement and interaction and with the opportunities. And our main vision is to promote a better life for Indian students and researchers in Korea. We are working in different sections, mostly in education. Oh, my screen is not shared, I think, right? Yeah. Can you able to see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, okay. And we are working in different sections. Main is the education and with student affairs supporting the community, and we are also working in the cultural division organizing cultural events and our main Indian festivals that were missing being away from India, and we are also active in the sports and outdoor activities. So we have different teams for the each division, like educational team, cultural team, sports team, and event and technology. And also we have social engagement and communication team. You can see this is the one of the picture from last year's Deeposhow that we organized at NIAD. And hello. So for this today's session, we have three prominent speakers. We already secured postdoctoral brain pool fellowship, and I will give brief introduction of them as it goes to one by one. Uh, Let me stop the screen. Uh, Sorry. So first, I would like to invite Dr. Sujay.
Hello, Dr. Dilip. I'm audible.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So myself, Dr. Sujay Bandyopadhyay, working in Hanyang University as a research professor, as a brain pool fellow, and here I am working on uh, solar cell based material. So today I'm going to present that how we can approach to for brain pool program. So what are the facilities? So my screen is visible, means my PPT is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So BrainPool is one of the prestigious fellowship all over the globe. Like that some in postdoctoral program, basically like Marie Curie Fellowship, JSPS Fellowship, Humboldt Fellowship, Newton Fellowship. So among that, BrainPool is one of the most prestigious fellowship in Korea. The aim of this fellowship, if you know the history about that fellowship, that it is provided by NRF, National Research Foundation of Korea. In 2020, this fellowship was known as KRF as well as BrainPool. But on 2020 onwards, name was changed, and also duration of that fellowship also changed, and it is named as the name was changed as BrainPool as well as BrainPool Plus Fellowship. So what is the aim of this BrainPool program? Actually, whoever the working around the globe, they have tried to attract some good researcher all over the world towards the Korea and make a good correlation with industry as well as university research. So overseas scientists to attract towards Korea for doing that some research program as a postdoctoral fellow. And there are 12 national strategy and technology field which they are looking. So these are the challenges like leading invention, secondary cell, as well as next generation nuclear energy, semiconductor and display technology. And next challenging in future, if leading edge bio, aerospace, cyber security, hydrogen, as well as essential for foundation like artificial intelligence, next generation communication, and leading edge robotics and manufacture. And these are the 12 national strategy and technology field, and who can apply into the field, which is have experience on pure science like mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, earth science, mechanicals and materials aerospace can who have the degree from mechanics, naval architecture, material science, electric and electronics information or communication technology, electrical engineer, computer engineer and communication, and applied physics also can apply to this field. And chemical engineering as well as bioscience also can apply. And for resource and ocean environment concern, that we have environmental as well as construction or nuclear power energy can also apply. And brain pool fellowship duration. Now that brain pool program has two type. Type 1, which is short-term brain pool fellowship, and type 2 is long-term brain pool fellowship. So for short-term type 1, the duration of that program is maximum 6 to 12 months or 3 to 12 months. For whoever want to come for Korea for short term, they can apply for type 1 program, and for long term for maximum 3 years. That short term will program duration, as well as that they will provided some personal cost, which is very attractive salary. That minimum is 5 million Korean won and maximum was 25 million Korean won. As well as if you selected to that fellowship, you will also provided the airfare of that travel from your country to Korea, as well as expenditure, and also provided the housing cost. Means if you stay in, particularly in case of type 2, that if you stay in Korea, they will also provided the house cost up to 1 million per month and maximum 12 million per year. And as well as you will get extra fund almost 5 million on for taking student who will work or who will help you to do the experiment in Korea. And for brain pool plus program, it need program duration is almost 10 years, there are also different branches, and you have to find that institute and eligibility of host. So host institute should be government funded research institute as well as national public research institute and university and corporate research institute as well as non-profit research institute. And for host, this should be full-time employee of the respective host institute, and rank should be at least assistant professor or senior research professor or research institute. And for brainpool plus program, that should be university employee holding a position of dean of academic affairs or head of the faculty of human resource. And for candidate, the eligibility of candidate for brainpool program, that PhD should be completed, whoever already got the PhD, and he should not live in Korea. He will be outside from Korea, means whoever staying outside from Korea, that overseas scientist. And as well as that corporate research institute being the host organization scientist, 5 to more year of experience will also needed. Or for brainpool plus program, the overseas based researcher, they that from during the apply time, you have to not stay in Korea, you have to stay outside from Korea, and you can apply for the program, as well as need some long research experience. And that application procedure for brainpool program, though details thing will be explained by my next speaker, that Dr. Shima, but I give a flow chart how to application procedure will start. For step one is that you have to find a host professor, and in this regard you have to find a host institute, and in their tricks is that you have to find good QS ranking institute, and then after that you can approach to professor to writing through email, and as well as you can contact with some known person who is already working in Korea, and you can make a connection and you can write a application or you can approach to the professor. And step two is that proposal writing. With that's you have to write very well research proposal which will be attractive as well as which will fulfill that the 12 national strategy with host professor. And in this part there are many part will be in Korean, and remaining part will be in English. You have to fill the English part by yourself, and Korean part will be taken care by your host professor. And after that you have to submit the proposal with host professor, and then you have to wait for result. And this generally three times that brainpool program was opening at the end of December or at the end of February, and after that April. So there are three type it is opening. So you have to look at the this link, that www.nrf.re.kr, and you have to look at when the program announce will appear, and from that you will contact with your professor and you have to submit the things. So these are the things. Now I am over. If you have any questions at the end of presentation, you can ask. We'll explain more details. Now I am over to Dr. Dilip.
Thank you, Dr. Sujay. Actually, in the connection in the initial time, I couldn't introduce you very well. Dr. Sujay is actually working at Hanang University as a brain pool fellow since last 1 year. And thank you for giving very nice introduction about the brain pool, about this fellowship, the subjects you have covered. It's covering with these fellowships and benefits of this fellowship. Also, sharing your personal experience. Thank you for that. And now our next speaker, I would like to invite Dr. Seema. She is also working in Hanang University as a brain pool fellow. So over to Dr. Seema.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dilipji, for introducing me. And good evening, everyone who joined from Korea, and good afternoon who joined from India. So, so thank you for joining today's seminar. So, a prestigious program to attract outstanding scientists from around the world. I'm not going to I'm not going on details because Dr. Sujai already given all details information about the fellowship. So today I will guide you through the Brain Pool Fellowship application process, covering required documents and key tips for success. I will also share some common mistakes to avoid and best practice for strong applications. So now I will share my screen first and then. Okay, so let's begin from the key requirements need to be in hand before starting application, including information about the host researcher director and your academic background with the general information and well-structured research proposal. So additionally, your past R&D achievement and that would be the relevant to the BP research project also be needed. So that achievement should be the before the 5 years, recently 5 years. So when you preparing the brainful fellowship, it is essential to discuss key points with your host professor before going for applications or before going for this fellowship. This includes finalizing your working contract and defining the research proposals, timeline, and outline the execution plan, and and then first you have to ask that professor to get the Korea research number that is called KRI number, and it is very necessary for this BP applicants. And additionally, clarify your duties, responsibilities are crucial step to ensure a smooth collaboration and successful application process. So now we come to the application, and this application has around 17 pages, and most of the part would be in the Korean. But we don't need to worry about this because your host professor will take care of this and help well to complete this application. So here I have put my screenshot of my applications with hiding some informations, and I have highlighted some parts. So here we can we need to fill some important detail. So if first you can see here, if you are received any GKS or any brain pool related fellowship in the previously, so you have to mention here, and then you have to write here your title of your project, uh, title of project here, of the BP fellowship, and then application research registration number, that is called KRI number, as I mentioned in the previous slide, so that you will get from your host researcher. So uh, that's why I said you have to discuss this point before starting the application, because it will take some time. And you must mention clearly here about your spouses and children if you want to bring your family and family here in Korea. And you must get bank statement proof in which you can highlight your last withdraw salary, and you should also need to tell your tentative entry dates. So when you want to enter the Korea, maybe after getting selection, maybe 2 month, 3 month, or I think minimum 3 month you will get. So you have to decide it, and you have to fill here the that detail. And these all information should be written by the host researcher, because it's this is in Korean, so you don't need to worry about that. And now uh, here you should write a focused research goal. So because in the next speaker, Dr. Mukund will tell about how we can make a good research proposal. So if you whenever you are ready with the research proposal, and after that you will start this application writing, so will you will make a good application. So here you have to write very focused way. You must write here your research goal, and your methodology and your approach to get your research goal, and then you must write your your research capability and your research host capability, that research achievement that will correlate with the this current BP project work. And of course, expected contribution and output of this project you should write here. And keywords also you have to write. This is common as a research proposal, so you should take care about that. And there is these all is the host researcher details, so he will take care about that. And here also the some part here is these all detail regarding the host researcher, so he will take care of that. And here in the section 2.1 you have to write your personal information, and in the 2.2 you have to write here educational background and including your PhD. So in the PhD you have to take care, you can't apply with the provisional degree certificates. You must have your PhD, final PhD degree certificate. And in 2.3 section, you have to mention here your career, like work experience, how after PhD, how like your work experience after PhD, so that you can mention here. But you can mention add only that experience which have you already have proof, like some certificate. If you do not have any certificate and you work here some in some lab and you didn't get any certificate, so you can't include that work experience here. And in 2.4 section, so this is actually really very important here in the application part. You have to write here your publications including your patent and book chapters or your conference paper, but you have to subdivide that. You just write a first author in the top and then co-author, and try to write in the top your publication which is related with the research proposal you have written for this BP project. Because they will think, okay, if you make, like if you are working in the like you are previously you work in the battery and now you are writing this work for another application, like some maybe some hydrogen energy or something, so it will little correlated, but you have to make some publication regarding this going this research BP research proposal, so that it will increase the possibility to get success for the BP selection. So try to write the proposal in that in which you have maybe one or two paper, and your professor, host professor, should have the like more experience on that work in that research field, so that would be the great. And uh, here you can see in this section, actually they ask some representative R&D achievements. Representative means there maybe your most what do you think about your work, like maybe 2 or 3 work is very good, you are thinking this is very novel work, so you have to write here. But that work of course related with the research project, so you can write I have just given one of my work here in my from my application, just for the example. So you can just first write title and abstract in the few lines, and then you can make one scheme, so that whole work can be people can understand, okay, what is going on that work. You don't need to write too much here, so like that. So and in the next section in from 2.5, you can you have to write the reason for mention that why you are want to apply the BP program. So here you have to mention why you want to apply here, and what is your approach after getting the here the BP fellowship. And of course in the and then in the next section 2.8, and this information of the host researcher, and the next is the BP candidate, so you should fill here your information. And in 2.9 section, this is actually research proposal which you already written separately. So here you have to give the brief. You don't need to copy and paste all research proposal here. You have to give here the brief. So if you have in your hand your research proposal, so here you can brief here with making some table. Because actually according to my experience, I have here around 8 year work experience here in Korea. So I have found my maximum professor like here the plan, like some might like some you can make some schematic, or you have to make some table, like okay, in the first year what you are going to do. Okay, first month I will do this, second month I will do, and third month this, and in the 6th month I am going to write the manuscript, and like that. So they like that. of course, after getting the proposal, actually, if you you have um, first initially you have to drive your car towards your petrol pump, because you need petrol after getting filling your your car with the petrol full tank. So after that you can drive anywhere. So when you got the project, then you can work in any field, and they have justification to how we can manipulate the research proposal, sorry, we can say um, research report submission. So initially you have to make very strong proposal, like, okay, in 1 month we will do this, with second month we will do this, the third month we will do this. So if you are going to apply type 1 for 1 year, so you just make for 6 month, 3 month, like that plan. And if you are going for the 3 month, 3 years type 2 application, as Dr. Sujay mentioned in her presentation, his presentation, so accordingly for 3 you just make a 3 table for first year, second year, third year. So it will improve your application. And these all part actually will take care from your host, because it's all information about the uh, some research schedule and some other things in Korean. So he will take care of that. And this is the end of the application. So of course all application finally finalized by the host professor, but you have to give the important key things you should give, so that application got you have to be give the maximum thing here to fill the BP applicant application procedure. And then finally, as you know that during the BP application, we need to provide the current affiliation document. So, here I have mentioned what documents we have to be ready during the submission. So, detailed CV of BP applicant. So, you have to make your beautiful, and not beautiful means if anyone can see in once, okay, who is he can understand. He don't need to go very carefully. So that's why I'm saying beautiful, a detailed CV, and the certificate of PhD and all academic degree and work experience certificate, and the proof of last withdraw salary. That will work from the bank statement. You should get some bank from the bank. It will not online banking statement will not work here. And the research proposal with the excellence and creativity. And this will discuss with the Dr. Mukund. He will tell about the how we can make the research proposal with the with more excellence and creativity. So he will discuss with about that. And the valid passport and national ID number. So national ID number is not related to Korea. It's directly related to India. So you should have it could be the PAN card or Aadhaar card. So in my case, actually, I have given this Aadhaar card. And if you are planning to come with your family, so just be prepared with the relation certificate. And so now this is actually I just focus, because in this slide, as you know that during in if someone have a career break, maybe in the women case, most of the case after marriage they got some maybe 2 year 3 year break, or maybe 6 month break. So after that, if we want to restart our career, so it is very hard actually. So it is my own experience, it is very hard from India, because in India, if you have 1 or 2 year career break, so no one is entertaining you. They are thinking, oh, see, they are sitting in the home, so they don't maybe forget everything. So if you are in the same room, so one way to do this by here I will tell about the one way how we can cope with this our restarting career. So in my case, I had the 2 year career break from 2021 to 2023. I just took this break to glorify my family, and I joined the BP fellow in December 2023 actually. So for this during application, I found the host here in the Hanyang University, and I discussed the plan and the research project, everything. But at the end I got stuck, because he asked me, okay, you need current affiliation where you are working, because that BP fellowship is for to invite the scientist who is working somewhere, is not sitting in a home. So you need some affiliation where you are working. So time, so that's why actually I think this BP fellow is announced in 2 times in a 1 year. So I lost that application. Like first time I did not apply because I need time. So I found some professor like I talked many professor who can invite me to work in their lab officially. So in the last, I just requested to my PhD supervisor, and he invited me as a visiting research scientist in his lab, of course without payment, but he is giving me officially, okay, you can work even on site or offline virtually. So it was really nice to him. So it worked for me, and I worked maybe around 6 months officially on paper in his group. And then that invitation letter and work experience, I and the okay current affiliation I added in the application, BP application. And I just filled my application, and I got um, successful this BP fellowship. So my suggestion is, if anyone is in the same route, please try like this. You just find some lab near in your home city, and maybe without payment does not matter. Just 4 or 5 months you can work without payment, and just get just try to apply this BP fellowship. And it is okay. So now thank you very much. And the next, maybe regarding the research proposal, Dr. Mukund and I will tell about the how to make the good research proposal. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sima, for giving more detailed insights about the application process and the documents. Actually, it's really helpful for the new applicants for making their application. You have shared your personal experience and very good tips for their application as well. Now, our next speaker is Dr. Mukund. Mukund he is working at Yonsei University as a Brain Pool Fellow from October 2024. So, over to Mukund.
Thank you, Dilip, for a generous introduction. So I firstly really appreciate your invitation to talk on preparation of Brain Pool Fellowship. And special thanks to Dr. Iqbal, President of ISRK, and Dr. Dilip and their team for organizing such a good event to give the insights on how to apply to Brain Pool proposal. Okay, so I am working as a Brain Pool Fellow at ISRK University, and I am permanently working as a assistant professor in physical chemistry at Solapur University in the Maharashtra. Okay, so I will be discussing these points which are need to be focused during the preparation of Brain Pool proposal, selecting host university and host professor, proposal theme, proposal alignment and collaboration, and major points which have to be focused. Okay, so as mentioned by earlier speakers, that Brain Pool program to apply Brain Pool program, we need host. You cannot independently apply for this fellowship. You need host in Korean university or institution. Okay, so you have to select the host. You have to select the university, which is appropriate with your research idea. Okay, so selecting the university is very important task. Okay, why it is important? The universities with high or better QS ranking will obviously having very good research as well as infrastructural facilities. So it will be easier to conduct your proposed ideas uh, once you get opportunity to work as a Brain Pool Fellow. Okay, so the highly ranked institutions have much better facilities as compared to the universities which are not highly ranked. Okay, but uh, when compared, it is when compared to the host professor, it is I think it is less important. Host professor is selection of host for professor is of utmost importance, even though in some cases your university may be not highly ranked, but it is having the professor which is very highly experienced and he is having strong research records. Okay, so you can select such professor, or you can write request him about the submission of Brain Pool proposal. Now, the professor, if you get some reply from professor, then you must check first the research area of that professor. Okay, it must be aligned with your proposal. Okay, so the professor as well as your expertise should be matched, and expertise of both should be aligned with the brainpool proposal. Okay, so you have to select the topic which could be worked on in the laboratory of the host professor. Okay, and the expertise, that is the expertise of both, should be complement to each other. So these two things are very important: selection of host university and host professor. Okay, the latter part, that is latter things, selecting host professor, is very important. Now, while selecting host professor, if uh, there is someone from someone Indian who can guide you, okay, and who is already in Korea, maybe your friend or your mentor, and he's working in Korea as a postdoc or an brainpool fellow. Okay, he can guide you or recommend you, or he can suggest some professors to you. Okay, that is easier. Okay, so when you try independently to find some professor, it is very difficult to get replies from those professors. Okay, so just try to contact your friends before preparing the application. Okay, and for via friends, and once your friends recommends professor, you can directly get in touch with the professor. Okay, and with that professor, you can after getting a reply from that professor, then you can discuss the proposals theme with that professor. Okay, so the proposal you are thinking to prepare must be workable in the laboratory of the professor, and the professor and you must have some common work or common keywords in your research. Okay, so synthetic methods or materials you're working on, or the analysis uh, techniques, or application part, maybe electrochemical measurements or electrocatalytic, or maybe battery work or photocatalytic work. Such applications should be in common. Okay, so maybe there are, if you already have been in touch with the Korean professor, there may be possibility of having joint publications with that professor. Okay, and that is like icing on cake, because if you already having publications with the professors, then the reviewer of your proposal may be thinking that okay, they are having already good tuning between each other, and the fellow will be adjusted very well in Korean lab. Therefore, professor maybe in those cases, even though the quality of proposal is not that much up to the mark, but the previous collaboration will be the making its mark there. Okay, so try to having some collaborative publications prior to application there. Okay, so collaborative publications is also very important part. Then after discussing with the professor, you may have to change your original research idea, which you were thinking about to submit for brainpool proposal. Okay, so your professor may instruct you to make changes in the proposal. Okay, so you should be ready to change the make changes in the proposal according to the instructions of professor, so that uh, it will be more complementary, and maybe it will be very easy to work out on those problems in the host's laboratory. Okay, and while preparing proposal, so it should be it should be work as a link between your work and professor's work. Okay, then there are few major points which needs to be focused in the preparation of brainpool proposal. Okay, these are the very important points. Summary, then objectives, methodology. Okay, so summary consists of 4 points: purpose, content, competency, and expected contribution. Okay, so this is like a abstract of your proposal. Okay, maybe your brainful reviewers will be reading the summary very carefully. And the first part of summary is the purpose. Okay, the purpose of research, and it is limited to only 500 characters. So you should be very precise in writing the purpose. Okay, so that should clearly define the main goal of research collaboration. Then you should emphasize how project aligns with the current scientific and technological challenges. Okay, there has to be some novelty, and you have to show like yeah, there is some research gap, and me with the help of my host professor, both are going to fill this research gap, and there may be something novel is coming up, and we will be trying to so we will be trying to like transfer the technologies based on this innovation. Okay, so you have to write that your work which we are proposing is very important, and it is very applicative. Okay, so maybe that could be helpful in industrial applications as well. And basically you should focus writing like we will be linking with the industries within the Korea. Okay, and we will connect with them at the end, and then we will be trying to transfer the technologies to those industries. Okay, so purpose should be like this. Then content should be brief but strong problem statement. Okay, this content should be like what you are actually going to do. Okay, the materials you are preparing, then the modification technologies you are going to implement on those materials. Okay, then what kind of problems you are going to solve. Okay, maybe there are some uh, improvement in the like photo electrochemical outcome or like that. So maybe the increase in the solar to hydrogen efficiency, like those problems, and you can say that we will be working on those problems, and maybe possibly we will be getting very high or the commercial level outcome in this research. Okay, so content should be material specific, problem specific, and then you should put the timelines at the end of the contents. Third part is the competency. Competency of innovative scientist, host researcher, and host institution. Okay, maybe your professor, host professor will help you with the some writing here. So you can write here innovative scientists. That is your expertise, then your contribution in the research, your publications, your patents, your major projects you handled in India. Okay, then your achievements like awards you got in India. Then host professor will write his achievements, and the host institution, that is facilities available at host institution, and you have to convince the research that brainpool reviewer that the facilities in your institute are enough to conduct the research proposed. Okay, and the expected contribution, it has to be publications, patents, some policy documents, and technology transfer. Okay, these contributions you should clearly state. Okay, it is not mandatory that if you write here, you will publish patent, or you will publish we will publish some policy documents, or we will transfer technology. It is not mandatory to achieve that. Okay, so you can write in order to make your proposal very impressive, and then uh, try as much as you can. Okay, if you get two to three publications or one patent, it is enough for the brainful final report. Okay, so while writing the expected contribution, you can write more here: policy documents and technology transfer. It is okay too. Okay. Next point is the objectives. Okay, this is very, I think it is most important part of your proposal, objectives. Okay, it should be very, very clear. Objectives, uh, the problem which we are going to address, it has to be clearly stated here. Which kind of material you are going to prepare in direct language, and which problem you are going to solve, and how you are going to use that material, or how you are going to modify that material. The ways or the methods you are going to implement, you should mention here. And then deliverables should be mentioned here to achieve this much performance. Then you can write about the outcome again here in terms of publications and patents at the end of the objective. Then objectives should be doable in the duration of Brentwood program. Okay. So if your program is 1 year program, then you should put objectives which are enough, okay, which has to be completed into the 12 months only. Okay, up to the analysis. Okay, publications, patents are not your in are not in our hands. So you can write, but that are the exceptions. Okay. Then expected outcomes about the technology transfer, you can write here in the last, maybe last objective or second last objective, or last two objectives are about the expected outcome in terms of the applied part. Okay, maybe policy document or a technology transfer with the help of host institution. Okay, and you then next part is the methodology. Methodology is the details on details of your proposal. Okay, maybe synthesis, first statement of problem, then introduction, then again synthesis part, modification part, analysis, then measurements, whatever measurements or application part you are going to perform, then preparation of the manuscripts, and last part is the preparation of report. Okay, so this part is coming under the heading of methodology. Methodology is very, very detailed explanation. Okay, so you can write everything here, and to make your methodology attractive, you can put some schematics. Okay, yeah, there are some schematics on synthesis methodology. Okay, or there are some schematics on applications, measurements. Okay, if you are working on hydrogen evolution, then you can put the working cell as a schematic. Okay, or if you are synthesizing, then synthesis steps can be given in detail. Right. So what is the benefit? The schematics, okay, when you prepare attractive schematics, the reviewer will focus on those schematics first. Okay, maybe reading out complete methodology may be boring, so he will be focusing on the schematics first. And if he understand from schematics only what you are going to do, you can impress him there only. Okay, he will be not reading, he will just he will be accepting your proposal. Okay, and you have to mention timelines. Okay, if your proposal is for 1 year, then you have to mention timelines of your work monthly and quarterly. Okay, so I have there in my proposal, I gave monthly time planner like this monthly planner. So initially you can see preparation of the material and characterization of the materials. Okay, electrocatalytic measurements, preparation. Okay, and their machine learning based optimization, like these things. And at the end, you can see final report will be done, patents filing. So in this way, you can write in brief. Okay, just one statement for 1 month. You can prepare in that way. And in quarterly planner, you can prepare a schematic like this. So you can compile first 4 months of planning in first phase, or first quarter, second quarter in 5th to 8th month in second quarter, and you can assemble last 4 months in the last phase. Okay, so these okay, one of these these are the schematics from my proposal. There were few more. Okay, So these are the schematics which I have included. Okay, most of them have been drawn by me, my PhD students. So you have to prepare some attractive schematics here. So you can see first schematic, so stepwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after going through these steps, uh, your reviewer will understand what you are actually going to do in 1 year. Okay, so you will again not you will be not reading your proposal in detail. If you get success to impress him only here, then you will be pass. Okay, so such prepared proposal, uh, your your host will be helping with you in preparing the proposal. Okay, and most of the Korean language things will be filled up by him. And after the completion of proposal, you have to hand over the proposal to host, and he will be submitting the proposal from his account. Okay, you don't have to submit your proposal on your own. The host will take care of it. He will submit the proposal, and then maybe you have to wait for 1 month to 1.5 month for the results. Okay, and whatever the result, host professor will receive an email, and he will notify you about your success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mukund, for sharing your personal tips, how to approach professors, and key points to consider while writing a proposal. Actually, that's the really important tips for the new applicants. And also, thank you for sharing your personal experience and writing the proposal details. So overall, I think our three prominent speakers, they shared their personal experience, all detailed information about the Brain Pool Fellowship, and how to apply documentation. I think most of the people got an idea about this fellowship. Still, if you have any questions, you can say, this session is open for this QA session. If you have any questions, you can just type your question here, and our speaker are ready to answer. That will be, they are really glad to answer your questions.
Okay, so Dr. Dilip, I just wanted to add one more very important information. I think
Sure,
we
sure.
missed it.
Mm.
So actually, in the BP fellowship, there is one point, and like if we got selected for the BP fellowship, and somehow with any reason, if we are not going to join that fellowship, so that host professor will be banned for this BP fellowship application for coming 3 years. He can't apply any BP project for 3 years. So applicants should take care about that whenever they make a promise with the professors, so please fulfill that promise, otherwise they will actually ban, and it's very bad impression about the Indian or anyone. So it's good to make decision very carefully.
Yeah, thank you. That is a really good tip. And if you have any question, you can directly like raise your hands and ask your question here.
In chat box, there is one question. Can you share your mail ID and Twitter ID for future communication? Okay, so we can share our email IDs, no problem.
Yeah, we can like we will share our the speakers IDs. Okay, Veludi, there is one question from Veludi.
Because I'm waiting for the applying, but Kalpur will not come still. So when will be Kalpur will come? What's the Kalpur?
Yeah, hello. Actually, generally it will come end of December, but this year most probably end of February maybe come. We don't know exactly, but end of February most probably come
Yeah, it
for
will be
first time.
definitely coming by February.
Yeah.
Actually, in last week we have contacted NRF about this, and they instructed that the call is about to finalize, and we will get call opening in maybe last week of February. Yeah.
Okay, Professor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for information.
Hello.
Yeah, Alish wants to ask some question. Yeah.
How much there's any restriction about the paper of this number page way of this proposal?
Total number of pages.
Yeah, like America, they have only 10 pages.
Yeah, they will provided the format actually means in the proposal that change year to year means in whatever that when the announcement will happen that time they will also provided the format, but most probably the is around 10 to 15 page actually.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I contact.
whatever the yes please.
Actually, I contact with the one Korean professor. He sent me last year proposal, and he want to say कि you can make a like a same way. So
Yes, yes, yes.
it is a possible
Almost
to change.
almost similar, just 1 2 point will be changed that you don't have to think about that. You just write your English part and Korean part anyway you can't do. There's some student or professor will write down that part. So but you have to look at, you have to, if you feel also in old means last year template, but you have to feel when you finally going to submit, you have to fill it in 2025 template. Means they will provide it when Brainpool fellowship program will be announced, most probably in this end of this February, maybe I don't know exactly, but that time they will provide the also template. So you have to fill that old template to that in new template.
Okay, sure, sir. Okay.
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 Any other question?
There is one question in chat box. Quality of publication, how does it matter? Okay. So before applying for Brainpool Fellowship, as Dr. Seema madam said, you have to mention your 5 best of the publications. Okay. So by 5 best publications related to your Brainpool proposal, right? Quality of the proposal, quality of the publication do matter. Yeah. You have to put the best 5 of yours, and provided that they are related to your Brainpool proposal.
Yeah, thank you, Mukund, for answering this question. Any other question, suggestions?
Okay, sir. There is one more question in chat box. Maybe Dr. Dilip sir can answer.
Hello,
Yeah,
I am Sanjam Rao from Jhansi, Uttar Pradesh. My question is that the person who completed their PhD in agriculture field, can he apply for BP program?
so yeah, Dr. Sima, the subjects covered in this Brainpool. Hello?
Dr. Sujay, can you
Yeah, I think you have to think about that 12 national project. You have to write the project, you have to PhD program, and you have to contact with host, and you can apply to them, and then it will be matched with your host interest and your interest. You can apply for that Brainpool program.
Okay. Thank you.
So there is another question about the salary, and it depends upon your previous salary. Someone asked, it depends upon your previous salary, or it need to negotiate with. We can negotiate with our host professor.
Actually, I think it's actually the BP fellowship salary is calculated by your previous salary, but actually Indian salary is according to Indian salary here, as per my experience, as I know many BP fellows previous also. So maximum salary for the Indian BP fellow is 5 million actually. But if any associate or associate professor in the, I think, government sector or the IITs or from NITs, associate or maybe full professor, if they are coming because their salary is very high, so in that case it will go to 8 million or something. But for the the PhD 5 year experience or 10 year experience or as an assistant professor, as recently I know in 2021, then one assistant professor from IIT Jodhpur. He came here as a BP fellow, so he also got the 5 million. So I think it's just consider 5 million.
So it all depends upon the budget of they allocated for the Brainpool Fellowship, like annual budget of Korean government. Not it all
Yes,
depends
Korean.
upon the like whatever salary you are having in India.
Yeah, previous salary. That's why they are focused on the okay, last withdrawn salary, because they are calculating on the basis of okay your previous salary on the basis of. So that's why Indian are not getting the more than the 5 million. But if someone is coming from like America, USA country like that, they are getting more, I think, because here the salary was high.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
Salary is exclusively depending on your previous salary. Yeah.
hmm.
Okay. Any other question? There is one more question. It's coming up. Is there any tips to get accepted by a notable professor or university?
I think that already discussed by Dr. Mukud that you have to have some friend or you can write a mail or that is the one approach. Then you can easily accessible. Otherwise, the whatever the general approach you look at your research field and based on that you can go to Google and search and you will find that in whoever working in Korea and directly write a email to them that you are interested to Red Bull means write a joint proposal because you will be an asset to that lab. So any professor in Korea will be happy to host you. So that is also one approach that you can write a mail that you are interested and based on that you can approach to professor. Or otherwise you can, if you have known some friend or you can write down, you can communicate with them and based on that he can also told to his professor or whoever the in department, any professor he know, he can recommend your CP also. Yeah.
There is one more question coming up. Does impact factor matters in your for the application of proposal?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yes, Dr. Sujay, yeah.
Yeah, impact factor is matter when you evaluate your proposal means impact factor matter on that. Suppose your proposal, whatever you have write down, and similar thing was matched because now thing is they are giving less number because many people are applied. So in that case, they will whatever the reviewer that 5 reviewer they will consider your publication also. That will be also one matter. But if you write a proposal very good way and if you have support with your publication, then anyone, whoever the reviewer committee, they will accept your things.
And one more question is coming up is that this fellowship is announced on the common portal or individual institute websites. I think it's on the NRF, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is in NRF portal. Means you have to look at Brain Pool Fellow or NRF. I have already shared that link
Mhm.
during my presentation. So they are only
Yeah,
not in institute. This is not a institute fellowship. This is fellowship by Korean government, National Research Foundation of Korea. They will provide the fellowship. So that will be announced by in that website. Like in our case, CSIR or DST. That whatever the proposal they announced in their website and based on that you have to apply. For applying you have to find some host institute and host researcher and with them jointly you can apply to the program.
I think thank you. We have so many questions, and that I hope everything will be answered. It's already answered. And if you have still some questions in your mind, we'll share these speakers' email IDs. You can personally contact them and then get clarified with your queries. And thank you so much for joining this session. Firstly, all the speakers for taking your time, precious time from your research and giving your personal info like experience, insights, more detailed information about this painful fellowship. I hope this information will be beneficial for most of the new applicants. And turning to the end of this session, I would like to call our one of Vice President, Dr. Manas. He is our Vice President for the cultural and engagement activities. So he will deliver a vote of thanks, and after that, the session will be ended. Dr. Manas.
Thank you, Dr. Dilip, for hosting today's session of Brain Pool and Brain Pool Plus session. My sincere thanks to all the speakers who gave their time and effort in the making an informative session. Your volunteering efforts are the backbone of ISRK. I am also thankful to all the participants who joined the session. I request you all to share it within your groups to benefit the maximum people. We also share it in our YouTube channel also. You can also follow us on our Facebook and Telegram page for more interaction informations. Have a nice Sunday evening. And we'll see you next in another session. Over to you, Dr. Dilip.
Thank you. Thank you. And here with this, we end our session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.